Good afternoon, everybody. Jim Fleeler, Charlotte Products. Thanks for joining us today, Friday, July 24th. Hope everybody's staying safe and practicing their social distancing. A lot of things happening since last week, as a matter of fact. There's a mixture of facilities of all types opening and closing and reopening and reclosing, and some are allowing a very small number of the public inside their facilities and restaurants and bars and things. Some really opening up the floodgates and allowing as many as 100 people inside restaurants and things there now. And really, businesses and governments continue to learn to balance the risk of health and safety and the economy, and looking for definitive solutions there. So no matter who you ask, there's a lot of different opinions out there. Should we reopen? Should we not? I mean, really, that comes down to really what our health officials and governments suggest and recommend. But if you do, make sure that you're following that protocol. Make sure you're preparing your facilities for reopening properly, professionally, safely, all of those types of things there. And utilize your manufacturers and distribution sales specialists there to really help you and guide you there. I know some of our distributors across North America have exceptional programs on how to open your gymnasiums safely, in your workout and fitness centers, how to open your restaurants, how to open your education facilities and things. And we really want to promote the use of talking to those people, approaching them, and really taking that guidance, because it's really in the best interest of every single one of us. Face masks obviously becoming very popular. One of the reasons why we upgraded the size of our studio is simply because we were right on the edge of being within that 6 feet, and we wanted to be safe and things there. But I mean, you know, you're seeing it every single day. More people wearing them, more people getting comfortable wearing them. It will be mandatory on every form of public transit, even in the workplace, whether you're in your cubicle or workspace or away, or maybe on your way to the restroom or the lunchroom or something there. Of course, follow your human resources guidance for that. Public generally are showing some signs of frustration, though. I mean, you know, whether you're during shopping, there's some people that are good practicing social distancing. Some are not. I even witnessed this week a few verbal confrontations between shoppers to say, "What are you doing so close to me?" and things. And I mean, that's a serious thing, and it's just going to be something that we all have to get accustomed to, respecting each other's space. And as we've often said for the last 2 or 3 weeks there, I mean, who controls the risk or the continuance of it or the expansion of it or the decrease of the virus is the person that looks back at you in the mirror. And that really, it's up to you to do your part. And you may think, well, it's just me, but look, there's millions of us here. And if millions of us practice that, that'll be a good thing. You know, our critical role and pre-planning is, I've talked to you before about reviewing your inventory levels, whether it's disinfectants or the proper cleaner or the masks or the gloves or the whatever pandemic supplies and things in general there has been, since we spoke to you last week, an absolute increase in demand, major increase. I mean, just major orders coming in. And actually, for a first time in a long time, there's a lot of pre-orders coming in, because we've been telling you the fall is probably going to be the hotter zone of the time and the demand, and you can place pre-orders with distributors without question. So you should do that. So you would know that on, okay, September 15, I can expect my shipment, or November 1st or October 1st or whatever it is there. So I would encourage you to work with your distributor and do that. We're working with many of our distributors to ship orders on specific dates there. So my warning to you, our warning to you is, look, you're better to have more than less, without question, because it's simply, we don't know what the future holds for pumps, for trigger sprayers, for bottles, for whatever. We sold our first ever tote, 1,000-liter tote of alcohol-based hand sanitizer this week. Right? And that's never happened before in our history. And that's somebody that's obviously looking for the future, planning properly, and bringing in the right inventory, you know, and that's what we can give you. Drums of hand sanitizer, totes of hand sanitizer, pails, gallons, and whatever. So anyway, that's just a little bit on there. So pre-orders are absolutely, you know, without question, are able to do. And if it helps you from a budget standpoint, do that. you know, there may be a shortage going. We don't know, but we're just trying to give you as much ordering advice as we can. So with that being said, let's get to today's session. And again, thank you for joining us. So July 24th, 5 months today. If I don't know if I'm allowed to say it or not, but it's Christmas Eve, which is pretty scary. That'll be here. We'll probably be doing a webinar actually at this time there. So me, you know me, I'll just skip right by me and, you know, ask with you getting to know him well on our questions and answers. Today, we're going to not only talk about protocols to lower the risk of an outbreak, but we're going to continue with our floor care programs, and we have 2 more segments left. And today's is deep stripping process, and all surrounding lowering the risk of an outbreak, but labor efficiencies. And then next week's is about the proper way to apply floor finish. So for the last several weeks, we've done all of the 5 elements, the critical elements with floor care processes and things like that. You know, so we're down to deep stripping today, and next week is the actual finish, and then we're done that. And then we have some unbelievable guest speakers coming in and a nice little panel. And we're going to continue with tips of the trade and stuff like that. And of course, Asquith will join me, you know, in a few minutes after our video and things. So really, when it comes to the 5 critical elements, we've been talking about that. Today's the last one specifically for the most labor intensive, by the way, the one that's called complete restorative. That's the most labor intensive task. It's the absolute highest risk for personal injury, slip and fall. It's one that sort of elevates the highest number of complaints in a building due to some of the strong chemistry and odors and things like that. And people are just a little bit more sensitive with respiratory and skin irritancy and things like that. So there's an issue there. It has the biggest area of downtime. You have to shut a room down for probably a day or 2. It's not just a quick sort of a couple of hours here and there and away you go. And it's the one that actually requires the highest level of custodial and janitorial expertise, you know. So and it also makes up 67% of a typical facility spend. So if you've got a lot of floor care, we encourage you to get great at floor care processes, and complete restorative is really the one where you can get the best return overall. As we've promised to you a week or so ago, we said part of our duties and responsibilities is really is transferring the education to you to really help you, you know, do a better job within your facility and meet your objectives and sustainability goals and things like that. And we've talked about helping you with all of the step-by-step elements going through, from PPE and what tools and equipment you require, what steps you go through, tips of the trade and things. And we've talked about that and said it'd be available in a couple of weeks. And I'm proud to say that we actually have it available. It will be uploaded on the website next week for you, on the Charlotte website. Our distributors will have it as well. But this form in front of you really it's a really bit of an opening remarks, and it talks about the benefits of the 5 CE program here. And right in the beginning, you probably won't see it there, but you can increase the size on the website afterwards there. But where we've tied in our elements here is why is the proper care program, floor care program for your facility so critical? Well, number one, it's the COVID-19 pandemic challenge. How do we lower the risk by relating it to floor care? We know we want a smoother surface. We want a surface that's less cracks and crevices where it's a host environment for bacteria and viruses to grow. We know a smoother surface is easier to clean and remove harmful bacteria. And that's just one of the reasons. But there's all kinds of other reasons that are in there. But as it relates to COVID-19, how it relates to labor costs and labor efficiencies, sustainability, and all of those things. And this is an unbelievable document for you, and it really identifies how Charlotte can truly assist you, because we pride ourselves on our floor care knowledge and what we do. We manufacture the polymer coatings and things right here, so we know firsthand from an R&D and quality control, we know what kind of finish program we have and the quality. And I'll tell you, it is very, very good, right? We will compete with anybody, anywhere, anytime, and our expertise that actually goes along with that. I mean, it's just the best return on investment for you, because it's a program that actually is custom tuned to you to really meet your objectives in the facility. So that's sort of the opening, and that document is there. And then there, lo and behold, there's 1 through 5. all of the specific steps there really really help you, and they're in real life, they're done. Okay, so really here's pre-routine. So what's it involve? What are the focus areas? What are the solutions, tools, and equipment that are required? How, what's the best way to remove debris? How about sweeping parking lots and entranceways, your matting programs, and all of those things? And it's really a nice step-by-step knowledge that everybody that I know of in the industry will benefit from reading it and really adapting some of these. So that's there. You asked, it's there. We talk about our dollar every single week. Floor care is the most labor intensive. I mean, if you have budget restraint, which you will have, whether it's in the middle of a pandemic or post pandemic, you will need to sharpen your pencil around budgets. Right? Labor is one huge element of that. Floor care is a huge element that can give you the best return. So don't lose sight of that dollar and where your money actually goes. The golden bill is available. I just forget the name of the person that actually won it last week, but it's available again this week for the first one that writes in and says, I'd like that bill. It is there for you, right? So let's go into our fairly recent, innovative, concentrated floor stripper called ES90, in other words, clean cut. Right. I showed that last week, a little bit of a shot of the bottle, but it's a quart bottle or a 946 mil. Now this stripper is different. Number one, it's Eco-Logo certified for you. So as far as giving you a safer formula, it's documented by Eco-Logo, right? Secondly, it is a high concentration. It's not your traditional stripper that mixes 1-to-1 or 1-to-2 or 1-to-4 or whatever it may be. This is a 946 mil bottle that actually will give you mixes in a cool water of a mop bucket, and it gives you 4 or 5 gallons or about 18 or 20 liters of ready-to-use product, all in one concentrated bottle, right? It'll be the least expensive ready-to-use formula to use. There's nothing that will be less money out there comparing it with traditional products, and it will bite through, break up, and emulsify at least 5 coats of finish in one swath, right? Very low odor, easy to dilute, easy to train, and as far as simple forecasting and budgeting, look at one bottle strips on average about 800 to 1,000 square feet. So if I have 5,000 square feet, I've got to give my stripping crew 5 bottles. I may want to give them an extra bottle just in case if there's some extra buildup and things. So, but from forecasting your cost and budget, it's right there for you. So it is new, it is unique. If you're looking for maximum labor efficiencies around deep stripping, you need to go there. Okay, so let's spend a few minutes. We're going to put on a video here that actually walks you through the step-by-step steps, I guess, the step-by-step procedures, and we'll see you when you get back. Hello, Jim Fleeler, Vice President of Sales for Charlotte Products in Canada. Thanks for joining us today on our YouTube video here. We're in the middle of COVID-19. We've been doing our weekly webinars talking about training people, teaching them how to lower the risk of an outbreak in their facility. And recently we started talking about our floor care processes and the 5 critical elements involved, one of them being in-term maintenance. So on our weekly webinars and on our website afterwards, you're going to see all of these videos that are available for each and every one of you to utilize for training material and really help protect employees, improve their wellness, improve sustainability, and also lower the risk of an outbreak. So one of the things today that we're going to talk about is deep stripping. That's one of the processes. It's the most costly by far, that process. It's the most labor intensive. It's the one that in our industry demands the most specialized skill as well. There's a lot of employee slip and fall hazards involved during that process and complaints from facilities really with strong odors and things like that, and I think we can help you address that. What we do have at Enviro-Solutions, we have an unbelievable floor care program that really lays out all of the elements involved with each one of those processes, product selection, product codes, Eco-Logo certification, UL approval, things like that, square footage, coverages, yields, and everything. And it's really also includes soft care, which is carpet care, and things like that in there. And that's available on the website. But one thing I'd like to tell you is in the next few weeks, we're going to have a detailed list of each one of the individual procedures that will identify what safety protocol you need to follow, what PPE, what tools and equipment you require for each one of these processes, and then each step by step, all the way through from number 1 to whatever the final number is on the safe procedures on how to do it. Nice checklist for any type of facility, a real good resource, our way of really giving back to the industry and helping people with cleaner, safer facilities. So just watch for that. Today, we're going to talk about our clean cut deep stripping product. We've talked about it in some of the previous webinars that we've had, but this is a little different chemistry. Not like traditional strippers that you dilute at 1 to 1, 1 to 2, 1 to 4, 1 to 6, whatever. This is 1 quart bottle or a 946 ml bottle. Put in a whole entire average mop bucket with cold water. This bottle here makes between 4 and 5 gallons depending on the size, ready to go, ready to deep strip about 800 to 1,000 square feet on average. Much less money ready to use for you, much more labor efficient. So that's what we're going to spend today on there. So I believe we'll start now and let's show you how it works. Okay, so now you've seen us do our scrub and recoat before, and now we're going to do our deep stripping. Jen's actually making sure that we follow the proper protocol by dust mopping this surface first. We want to remove any potential staples, rock, grit, grime, anything, pieces of pallet and whatever that can actually permanently damage the substrate below. When I add an aggressive stripping pad and a heavy machine and in a friction motion, you can actually gouge that very easily. So first step, obviously, dust mopping, making sure you have your PPE that you're wearing and also your slip and fall barriers, cones, wedge signs, whatever on the surface. The rule really with wet floor signs too, if there's 2 doors, you need 2 signs. If there's 1 door, you need 1. If you have 5 doors, it's 5 signs. You can never have too many signs, and really for the price of $10, $20 a sign, depending on what you pick, what's the price of a lawsuit? It's a whole lot more than $10 or $20 or $50 in investment. The more signs, the better. So we've dust mopped that. Now we're going to deep strip. Most costly, most labor intensive, most specialized process that we really have in our field. And we've talked several weeks ago about our clean cut super concentrated stripper. Eco Logo certified, comes in a smaller package. The average dilution ratio is 1 to 18, where a typical stripper is about 1 to 2, 1 to 3, maybe 1 to 4. Far more economical, by far the least expensive ready-to-use stripping solution in the marketplace, and particularly that we carry. So very, very nice product. Will bite through, honestly, an honest 5+ coats every single time, no matter what the type of polymer that was down there before. Eco Logo certified, very easy to use. How do I train people how to use it? You can look at our bucket. You can see that we've got it 3/4 full with cool water. I'm going to take the whole entire contents of this bottle and mix it in. You can see as it goes in, and I'm just doing it slowly because I want to avoid splash, you can see it's a little bit of a water-based solvent, so you can see it's sort of a little like oil and water, I guess you could say, in a mixture. And the important thing there that I really want to point out is that it needs to be mixed. Okay, so I take my mop. You notice I'm using the same mop that I used for other previous stripping processes or scrubbing and recoat. I never want to use the same mop that's used for rinse or applying finish. So you can see there, I just give it a little bit of agitation and I'm ready to go. 1 of those bottles, 3/4 full of cold water. I've got an average of a 1 to 18 dilution ratio. Perfect dilution every single time. Okay, so what I'm going to do is on the label it clearly states 10-minute dwell time. So in the hopes of gaining labor efficiencies, what I want to do, I just simply want to take this and I want to put product down wet enough on the surface to remain wet for 10 minutes. I'm just working in a small area to show everybody here, and in fact that's probably not wet enough. So one simple routine is not even touching the wringer, basically going like so and flooding. Okay, now one thing you should be watching is this stripping product is very, very fast. It bites through those 5 coats really in less time, but follow the label instructions. So while we're waiting to respect that dwell time, let's get our equipment ready to go and we'll show you what pad we're going to use for this process. This is my typical 2-speed swing machine. It's unplugged and I've got Jen on standby ready to plug it in. And the pad selection here is a little bit different, right? I'm using a high productivity stripping pad. This is obviously a used one. It goes for many, many miles, lots of square footage. I personally like the 3M high productivity stripping pad. You can see through it. It cleans out easily. It's very, very aggressive. And when I go to a floor care demo, believe me, I want this pad because it's deep stripping, it's the most labor intensive. Let's get the job done right the first time. You'll also notice that I have a red pad below it, okay? And the reason why I do that is because if I don't put a cushion between there, you can see the thinness of that black pad. It can actually have these grippers damaging the floor permanently. So always put, it doesn't matter what color pad that you do, but make sure that you've got that between the two. And as always, basically centering. Oh, I left part of my glove there. Lining my cogs up, locking it on, making sure it's pressed, and then simply put the floor pad down, and that's it. I'm ready to go. So we've respected our dwell time of 10 minutes. Now let's just sort of do this again. We'll go in. Now, very critical, make sure you know where your cord is at all times, right? And you can see what I'm doing is I'm walking in to where I've actually scrubbed. So what does that mean? I've got good grip here, as opposed to if I walk on this, you can see it's like ice. It goes through. So be very, very careful. In fact, if you're inexperienced, you may want to go back and forth in this fashion, making sure that your feet are always on a bare surface below. It's not a bad safety precaution for you. If you're comfortable, you've got lots of years of experience, you can go a traditional way, left or right, okay? But if you're in doubt, a little least leery, just go back and forth. Always keep your feet in that area. So we're just going to simply take a nice slow approach, keeping our cord out of the slurry. You can't really notice this, but there's very little smell. Most of the smell is actually from the smell of the finish when it originally went down. I have a 2-speed machine here as well that, again, I always want to keep on low speed to prevent any hydroplaning and get the best job. So always good when you're deep stripping to go in 2 patterns. There'll be low spots and high spots in the floor. The speed I'm going is a very good speed. You can use clean cut with a general auto scrubber as well, obviously larger areas. You can use that for the scrub and recoat process as well, but there's a lot of swing machines out there in the industry. There's a lot that still come in very handy, and with the weight and the pressure and the RPM, one of my go-to favorites as long as it's not a large square footage. So that's really the process. The only real time-consuming thing we've done is we've had to wait 10 minutes for that stripper to actually do its job. So you can see, I'm going to take this air, Jen, if you unplug me, that would be great. But what I know now is I can step on this surface, and you see my foot, that's right down to the bare tile. Very quick process for deep stripping, no slip and fall risk. That's what I love about clean cut. It bites through those 5 Honest Plus coats, gets you right down to the bare tile, allows the operator to really come in contact with a non-slippery floor, and away we go. Now what do we have to do? Squeegee, wet vac, damp mop, pick up with an auto scrubber, give it a water rinse, and we're ready to put finish down. So as you can see, we've just done our deep stripping process here with the machine. We haven't picked it up yet, but I just want to talk about one issue that you could be challenged with, and that is stripping by a dry back, okay? If it dries back on you, it'll turn into a porridge or an oatmeal, and believe me, it's very hard to re-strip if that happens. So one little industry tip there, take your same stripping solution and just basically apply it to the floor, just like so. You may want to mop it around a little bit depending on the surface. Keep that stripping solution wet. One excellent tip for you to save you a lot of aggravation and labor efficiencies. Now, what I'm going to do is I want to pick this stripping solution up. So I have Jen back operating the wet vac, and I'm just going to basically come in here. And I talked to you before about this squeegee. you have two choices. I can mop it up with wet mops, a lot of labor. I can vac it up and actually have my wheels and wand and cord running through, or I can use my squeegee. And Jen, if you want to turn your vacuum on. Okay, and I'll just show you this way. I can pull this solution towards Jen, so she doesn't have to do anything, run the machine through the solution at all. Okay, so you can see here. By the way, if you're hearing that thumping, that's the Karcher wet back there that actually has a chamber in there that pushes air through it to actually clean the filtration mechanism to make sure you maintain constant suction. It's a great innovative idea. Okay, so we've just finished using our high pro pad on the floor there, deep stripping, and what you can see, there's quite a bit of polymer that's actually soft right now, but it'll actually harden and actually take away from the aggressiveness of the pad for the next job. So part of the custodial tasks that they should be doing is we always recommend a water rinse out when we're done, okay, and then hang it to dry. So you can see here how easy. That's what I like about a high pro pad. It rinses out very, very easy because it's not as dense as traditional pads. So you can see I've finished that all there, rinsed it all out. I'll turn my water off quickly, give it a little bit of a shake. Oh, sorry, this hose is a little bit of a wrestle. Give it a little bit of a shake, hang it to dry. And what I've done now is I've got a perfectly good pad ready to use again for thousands of square feet. And that's much more sustainable. And certainly I'll double or triple or even quadruple the life of it there. So that's a good thing for us all. Okay, so now we've picked it up there, and what we want to do is what we call a flood rinse, flood water rinse. We have deep strips, so we want to make sure it's good and wet, okay? And I really like doing this flood mop rinse, really letting it get down into the tiles. You can see the way I'm mopping, I'm just moving my legs basically, keeping my back straight. I'll flop the mop there too, and if you can see, okay, your job here is to really rinse any residual and polymer. You can see the white of the mop there. That's what I mean, it's picking up that possible residue. So always flop your mop, okay? Do your water rinse. What you can see too, I want to go along the baseboards to avoid any wicking. Watch my footing at all times, okay? And that's one nice little flood rinse. Now what I may do, I probably will, is give it a good rinse. A little bit of a drier approach this time, and pick up any excess, okay? You can see I still got a few bubbles here and there, so I want to make sure I remove all of that, okay? Now one way you can do this is a wet mop procedure. What you can see is this is a very slow process. A faster way to do this, you can do it with a wet mop. Going back to our squeegee, as you can see, I can simply pull it back nice and thoroughly, okay, there. Almost dries the tile totally, and then I can pick up with a wet vac from there. Nice, easy way, labor efficiency. Okay, so hopefully you found that video beneficial. I would probably, if I was responsible for training people to do with floor care processes and deep stripping and all those, I would revisit, I'd keep these as a catalog and a library for teaching people, because there's a lot of, not just the deep stripping procedures in there, but there's also all the health and safety and reducing the risk of slip and fall. Because if anybody has stripped a floor before, if you walk into that slurry without pre-scrubbing, you will realize very quickly that you could have a fall and have a serious injury and things like that. So hopefully you found that beneficial there, and I'd revisit that several times for sure. These questions keep pouring in every single week, whether it's a phone call or an email or a text or online here about, and I think what we will do in the future is we're going to revisit some of the I guess non-educated procedures that people do, whether it's in a commercial building or at home or whatever, with wet wipes and things like that, and dwell time. Because if you are not following these procedures, you are not being guaranteed the peace of mind of a disinfectant procedure. So using the right product, reading the label, diluting it properly. It does not matter what method you choose, from misters or electrostatic sprayers or pump up sprayers and things. Always pre-cleaning the surface. That is just today, I seen an individual who thought they were an expert in the industry talking about you don't need to pre-clean surfaces, and that's just not true, right? Respecting the dwell time and potable. One of the questions I had this morning already is when I use your Enviro-Solutions ES364 around children's toys, do we need to do a potable water rinse? Yes. What's involved with that? And we explained that to them, right? So again, this slide, if this is the only takeaway out of this whole entire webinar series, this is a slide that'll really make it or break it for you, and it's very, very simple to understand. Our spray and go outbreak prevention program is selling. It's just been a top seller from day one, specifically available in Canada and the United States. There's an EPA number in the United States and a DIN number for Canada. That's our ready to use with the pump up sprayer. There's the actual bottle. That's my favorite pump up sprayer. There's another 9,000 of those units coming in the next 3 or 4 weeks, I'm told. But really a very, a very easy way to apply the disinfectant on the surfaces and lower the risk of employee injury with repetitive trigger sprayer use or whatever, and on also a faster application method. So we know you are disinfecting more frequently now. You can't afford extra labor as a general rule, so why not have the right delivery method with that pump up sprayer to help you do that, and we'll go from there. So a 5-minute dwell time, norovirus kill claim, Health Canada listed on Health Canada and things like that. Our webinars, this continues to grow. These are not going anywhere. They're usually, today's will be uploaded the first of the week there for everybody. You still have all of these to visit. And don't forget, if you look at the top line there and you go across where the media center is, you can click on that, drill down to where the videos are. And every single one of the videos we do are there, minus the webinar content. So instead of having to watch it for 45 minutes, you can watch it for 8 minutes or 11 minutes or whatever the particular video is there. So again, cleaning checklist, more education for you there. We encourage you to look at those and adapt them. We've had this is our 19th webinar. Hopefully you found it valuable and informative. Next week, it does say on the screen Thursday, July 30th, but we're actually going to do it Friday, July 31st at 1 o'clock. We're going to keep the status quo there as well. And we're going to continue with our last element, and that's the floor care, labor efficiencies, and surrounding floor finish application. Okay, so that's a very good one, and it's the last ones there. So I think now, with that being said, I think it's time for questions, and I know Asquith is with me here today. So Asquith, where are you? How are you, Asquith?
Here, Jimmy. How are you?
I'm actually terrific. It's a nice, hot, humid day, but cooler. A little cooler and a little breeze, and I know there's our IT fellow there, right there. Thank you, Chris, with our questions and the hooks and oh geez, another whack of questions here today, which is good. So you're keeping well?
Trying to, Jimmy. How about you?
Well, it's been a busy week, I can tell you. There's a lot more. There's a lot more activity on the lines for the sales force. Really. From customers saying, am I doing the right thing? Mm-hmm. What should I do in this application? There's a lot more demand these days, and it just seems to be growing and growing and growing, which is good.
People just want to do the right thing.
Yeah.
So it's good to ask good questions.
Yeah, and what we've been getting back and forth here with our webinars is thank you for the honest, easy to understand information, mm-hmm. because some people will talk like crazy terms and things, and it's not relative, and if they don't understand it, they won't be able to apply it. And what I think what I've seen, and I've been around a long time, I see the custodial and janitorial supervisors asking for help now. Instead of assuming they maybe know it, they're really reaching out, because I think their staff, their cleaning staff, is putting more pressure on them for proper guidance. So it's a whole, I guess, circle is really what it is there. So that's good. So this is our 20th webinar.
No way.
This is the 20th one without question. So let's get to the answers here, because I think we only have about 10 minutes here, and you know how that time flies. But here's Steve. I heard that hand sanitizer that contains methanol is very dangerous, and many people have lost their life in North America. Apparently, people have drank it for obvious reasons. Can you confirm if the FDA and Health Canada have issued warnings for manufacturers to stop producing that product?
Well, absolutely.
Yeah.
We keep emphasizing, on our products, this is ethanol. And the different different labels, if you will, in terms of ethanol. There's technical grade, which is a no-no.
Right.
Industrial, it's a no-no.
Right.
And you really should be using a USP grade. In our case, we use NGS, neutral grain spirits, for our hand sanitizers.
Yes.
So that's the best of the best in terms of ethanol. So yes, you're right. Methanol is poisonous if consumed, and it should not be used in this instance.
Yeah, and they're obviously consuming it here, and then also he has a second part. Also, the list of hand sanitizers containing methanol has increased. He says recently it was as little as 7, and now it's as many as maybe 75 brands. Right,
well,
identified from the FDA.
A lot of people trying to get on the bandwagon, so to speak.
Yeah,
they're using the lax, if you will, of Health Canada in terms of trying to give NPN numbers quickly because of the pandemic, but that would be reined in shortly. So only the good companies will remain in the good formulations.
Yeah, and that's a good one there for sure. Yeah, but that's a good question from Steve to start off, because it's really about health and safety, and
safety is critical,
and life. Is really what it is. So it seems hard to believe that something as basic as a hand sanitizer, not to put it down, but with the wrong ingredient can hurt people, and they can lose their life because of it. So why? I wouldn't mess around with that for sure. Yeah. Here's Bernadette here. How strong is the odor of your ES91 Floor Life Extender deep scrub product? Does it work well in cool water versus hot? And what do you recommend?
Well, you did all that stuff before.
Yeah, we did that.
Of course.
Yeah. ES91.
Yes. Low odor. Works really, really well. No real issues.
Yeah.
Easy to use.
Mixes one way, cool water for sure. Yes. The odor. I mean, I remember talking to Chris there, and he was in the room filming the video, and I said, "Could you smell anything?" And he basically said no. So Bernadette, no. If you're in an LTC home or healthcare facility or public facility, preschool, whatever you are, you're not going to have any. The
volatility is extremely low.
Yeah.
And by using cold water, you also mitigate any type of volatility coming off of that solution.
Yeah, for sure. So that's good, Bernadette. Great question. William, how is your supply of pumps for hand sanitizer in 2-liter and 3.78-liter bottles? This is William. William, ask who's going to answer it. How's your supply?
Well, you want an honest answer, Jimmy?
Yeah.
It's
William.
We are sourcing. William, we are sourcing the pumps, and you will get pumps. I've got a very good source, and seriously, you will see pumps shortly.
Yeah, I think so. And then, well, we've got a good supply now going out. We have to ration them without question. But I mean, I'm looking at your table of Serve Clean here, and I think it's fair to say we've got a stock of pretty well everything there. Or what can you?
I think this is it.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Is that the whole stock, or do you have more? is that the 6 models?
Jimmy, I've got lots of stock.
Yeah.
Lots of stock.
And this one here is the one we've been talking about, right?
Yes.
I mean, look at that formula. I mean, that's a real nice formula there for
sure. You should give it a try.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, I have tried it, as a matter of fact, there, but I can't hold that and this at the same time. Okay. So, John, so pumps there, obviously, first buys, first gets,
Yes.
and
Yes.
there. But I think we're in good shape. I know we just sent a massive truckload order the other day. Your stainless steel wall bracket, we sent out a couple thousand of those the other day.
Yes.
We've got more coming in there, so that's good. So again, heed the warning, but place your order. I guess that's the best way to say it. Here's John. If I'm using ES15 ready-to-use disinfectant in Canada in a healthcare facility, do I need to have a DIN number, or can I use your USA version with an EPA number in a healthcare facility?
Well, we rather you use a DIN number in Canada and
Yes.
an EPA number in the United States.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's the way it should be.
Yeah, okay. Pretty self-explanatory,
Yes.
John. DIN for Canada, EPA for the US.
That's correct.
Here's Larry. Do you have pumps for your 500 ml bottle in stock now? I think we just answered that.
Just
yes,
answered that.
yes, we do. Right?
Yes, we do.
For sure. Rita.
That's referring to the hand
I'm
sanitizer.
assuming it's either Larry's asking about this one,
Mhm.
or he's asking about
this one.
this one.
Yes, we do
Because
have.
both are available, right?
Both are available.
Yeah, I think you're bouncing back with inventory. As this bottle runs short, you're bringing this one in,
That's
or
correct.
both at the same time.
Both at the same time.
Yeah. Okay.
But I think we've got a higher volume of this particular
Of that one there.
style bottle.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Now, how many bottles do you think we'd have of that available? Ballpark.
This one?
Yeah.
We'll have at least 5,000 cases like this available by
So
next
with a
week.
dozen. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's good. So Larry, I mean, not only the pump, but obviously the bottle. And some people, they don't like a cap and they don't like a flip cap, but everyone wants a pump, but you have to respect the fact that
it works well.
and the pump works well.
Yeah.
Here's Rita. Tried your ES91 deep scrub product this week. It really works well. It actually lowered our labor by at least 50%, as you said, versus our traditional deep stripping. By the way, the floor looks very good as we tried your ES98 floor finish for the first time. Great information. Keep informing us. That's Rita. I'm assuming I know that Rita actually from the GTA. Here's Peter. If my crew applied too many coats of finish too fast in hot, humid weather, and it started to bleed through previous coats and goes patchy, how do we fix this? And by the way, it's not your finish. There, how do we fix it?
Number one, use our finish.
Yeah. There you go, Peter. Why aren't you using our finish? That's a good thing. Yeah.
Well, yes, but you can do a scrub and recoat. I mean, and that's something that you discussed last week.
Yeah. Yeah. What I find is it depends on how fast they put it down and how bad it actually looks. But I find, walk away with it. You can scrub and recoat right away, or you could walk away after for a night or two and then actually do a scrub and recoat. You may be able to just give it a quick blue pad scrub and then a top coat, and it blends in nice there. So it really is trial and error there.
But we always say, though, start with the best finish.
Oh, there's no question. Our ES98, I mean, that's our number one eco logo. I mean, UL registered, whatever. Here's Diane. Do you have totes of hand sanitizer available? It seems to be hand sanitizer this week.
Yes.
Do you have totes available? I said in the opening, we sold our first tote ever.
Yes.
1,000-liter tote there. And I think there may be some cost savings. And can we decant it easily? And what other sizes do you have? There.
Totes are good.
Yeah, people who have totes understand it has an on-off ball valve at the bottom. You can pour that right into a container. You can have a hose extension. You can do whatever. But drums, and she has sizes, pails, drums, totes, all available on request. And then meanwhile, our 500 ml, 2-liter, and our 3.78.
Those are standards.
Okay, that's good. Jacob, is your ES364 disinfectant registered with Health Canada?
And the answer is absolutely yes.
Yep. Okay.
And the way you know that, Jacob, is by looking at the DIN number that's on the label.
Yeah, that's good advice. And here's Darcy. Can we use ES364 in our auto scrubber to clean our concrete and terrazzo floors in our facility?
And the answer is yes. Of course.
1 to
just
6.
Make sure. Exactly. I was just about to say, make sure you follow the dilution.
Yep. 1 to 64 is the only one that you need to use, Darcy, without question. Great cleaner for an auto scrubber.
Correct.
It really works well. Nice, leaves a nice, pleasing smell behind in the facility, and then that peace of mind to disinfect it. And then don't forget, Darcy, even going back to some of our videos, maybe, 6 weeks ago or so, remember we did the how to disinfect your equipment equipment, your solution system,
That's correct.
and all of those, I would use 364 for that. Actually, we use that in that video, but
That's
you
right.
don't forget to disinfect your equipment,
Yeah.
right? Your carpet extractor.
All the touch points too on the equipment.
You're right. That's a great point.
You can use the S15.
Yeah, here's Brent. Do you manufacture cleaners and scrub and recoating products for coating wood floor surfaces and gymnasiums in universities and colleges? Can you cover the information regarding this soon? We will start doing our wood floors in August.
Well, there you go. Of course, we do have products for gymnasiums, basketball courts, that type of thing. Mm-hmm. And maybe we should take that up in the next webinar.
Yeah, I think so. Brent, Brent's asking for it. You know, like we say, when you send your questions in, we usually listen and we try to adapt them there. So we have an unbelievable water-based wood floor coating program that's there.
Easy to apply.
Yeah.
And works well.
Yep. Yeah. Works really well. Squeaky shoes, easy to scrub and recoat. So we'll cover that in a session. Yeah.
You know, it's a great product.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm looking at the timer. Guess what?
Are we out of time? No way.
It says 0, which means we're out of time. You know, there's no question. But all I'll say is, listen, thank you. We really appreciate it. It seemed the questions went by so fast today. It just did there. But in the future, we'll certainly try to build some more time. We've been spending a lot of time on the floor care program, and it obviously relates to lowering the risk of an outbreak there. So stay patient when you're out and about in the public, and because we're all learning together, and it's been a little aggravating at times. I know people have been trying to get that same square footage of tile I've been standing on in a store, and it doesn't impress me. And we just need to be a little bit more patient and slow down there for sure. So any parting words for you, Asquith? Some wisdom.
Well, basically, respect social distancing, and if you can't do that, wear masks. It's important to do so, and keep washing your hands. Yeah,
absolutely. Keep washing your hands and keep staying tuned in to us there, as a matter of fact. So for Friday, July 24th, over and out, and we'll see you next Friday on July 31st at 1 o'clock EST time. Thank you.
Thank you.